happy Monday. Yes, you can trust that day. Is that getting old? Should I come up with a new opening line? I just think it's nice to be positive on a Monday because I think most of us go, oh, Monday. But we're here. We're around, right? Life's pretty good no matter what's going on. You're here, so that's important. And happy Family Day. I guess if you had opportunity to get out and enjoy some of that with family, or maybe you just decided to chill by yourself and do nothing, I hope you got to enjoy the holiday in some form or fashion. We were able to have some time with some family. We had some dinner, and then my son and I got out Sunday we got out and went for a motorcycle ride. It was a short motorcycle ride, but we got out and we were happy to do that. So that was the first time out for him, second time for me. And Jason's girlfriend McKenna came along and joined us, so that was nice as well. Jennifer just said, it's too cold for me. It's like, whatever, we're going without you. Anyway, hope you've been enjoying the long weekend. Real quick with the Sarnia Sting, well, if you're following along with that, it's certainly been interesting. Last week, of course, on Wednesday against the Guelph Storm, a huge win there. Then they would go down to London and win over London at 3-2. And then back here on Saturday, wow, it was 3-0 for the Sting, and then they would end up falling to the London Knights in the final period, a final score in overtime, 4-3. But an exciting game for sure, and a sold-out crowd. It was sold out, although there were some empty seats. That just happened, but all the tickets were sold out. And earlier today, Family Day was sold out as well. So if you want to follow along with the Sarnia Sting, keep watching here, or just go to sarniasting.com. And I'm telling you, this is a great team this year. There's lots of great hockey to be seen. You should get your tickets by going to sarniasting.com as we get closer and closer to playoffs. The last official regular season game, I think, is like the end of March. So if you haven't been out to a game, you've been saying, I got to get to a game, now is the time. This is the year. It's been very, very exciting. So we'll hope you'll come out and join us. And speaking of that, I've had my friend Lee Bazeley join me. And yes, Lee has done a great job joining me. Jay Peckham taking some time off to just take care of some things. So we do throw things out at Jay Peckham once in a while. We know he's watching still the Sarnia Sting, and he was at the last game or the previous game on Saturday, enjoying it as well. So, but Lee Bazeley been joining me, and thank you so much, Lee. Been doing a great job. And I've got a few other people lined up that are going to be joining from time to time as well. And I want to say thank you to Hughes Intelligence, who's always been a great supporter here on the show and the live streams that we do at the Sarnia Sting. And a huge supporter, Ask Guy, or AG Event Graphics. So it's online at askguy.ca, supporting all of our live streams and the things that we do here on the show as well. Now, if you would like to be a co-host at a Sarnia Sting game, reach out to me. Where I got an email somewhere. There it is right there. Send me an email to david@tvsn.ca or message me on Facebook and tell me why you would like to be a co-host and why you think you could be a co-host. What's your knowledge of hockey? Probably more than me anyway. So if you like to talk hockey and you like talking Sarnia Sting, I really would love to hear from you, and we can have a lot of fun with that. Also, I want to just give a shout-out reminder to our friends at Agefriendly Sarnia-Lambton. This is a portal for finding services in Sarnia-Lambton. Go to agefriendlysarnialambton.ca. We had our friends from Leo on here recently talking about this as a driving force. There's a QR code. You can scan that on your phone. I'll take you right to agefriendlysarnialambton.ca. These are expanded local services and supports listing. And they now have, and this is inclusive of all ages and stages of life here. Many cities are getting involved with Age Friendly. And there you see on the screen as well a phone number that you can call, 519-336-3000. If you're looking for services and you don't want to do it online, you can do it with a phone call as well. It's very, very well detailed and very well maintained. And I have to say, very easy to navigate website. So I hope you take the time to visit agefriendlysarnialambton.ca and learn more about what's available. And you might not need the services right now, but at least now you know about Agefriendly Sarnia-Lambton. And then, of course, we always have to say thank you to my sponsors. I really appreciate them coming on board and supporting me. Blue Water Power group of companies, great supporters, not just here on the show, but there's so many here in our community. Thank you, Blue Water Power. Joe's Discount Tire. Got to have good tires on there, so go down and see them. They're at the bottom of the hill at Indian Road Overpass here in Sarnia, and tell them David sent you. And, of course, once again, AG Event Graphics, our friend Guy at askguy.ca. All right, well, I've been enjoying getting out into the community, talking one-on-one with people in our community. And this next gentleman, well, he's been away for just a little over 20 years in Taiwan, and now he's come back within the last year. And he came back and right away ran for municipal election and has got a lot of great perspectives on where our future is here in the city. And he wants to be a part of that. And he's got some people he's working with to help make that happen. And his name is Brooke Daye. I worked with Brooke. I kind of forgot until we reminisced a little more. And like years ago, like over 20, a long time ago at Patty Flaherty's. And it's been nice to reconnect with Brooke, and we had a great conversation. And well, he welcomed me into his home to have that conversation. This is we're going to talk a little bit of politics, and we're going to talk about vision, and we're going to talk about different cultures. Well, we'll let the interview speak for itself. Take a look at this interview, one-on-one with Brooke Daye. I've said it the last couple of shows, I really appreciate getting out and one-on-one with people. And today we're in the home with Brooke Daye. Brooke, thanks for welcoming me into your home here.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Welcome back to Sarnia, I guess. Well, you've been back for a little bit now, but still welcome back to Sarnia.
It's always good to feel welcome.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you that question. You were away for 20 years or so in Taiwan?
20 years. It would have been 20 years in October. We were here in June 24th we arrived, but it would have been 20 years in October of 2022.
What took you to Taiwan?
A few things, the desire to break away from Canada and see the world, primarily, followed by looking for opportunity. I knew that there was different out there, and I wanted to feel what different felt like, and it brought me to Taiwan.
Right. And now you're back, and you came back. Did you feel welcome when you came back?
Oh yeah, of course.
Because you're originally from Sarnia.
Yeah, born and raised, lived here, obviously till university, and I studied in Nova Scotia. From there, I came home, and we met at Patty Flaherty's.
Yeah, so I had to try to remember.
Yeah, so I was working for Scott there, and that was a great time in my life. I really enjoyed that time. So it was really, really a golden era for me in the city. But yeah, I left at 27 years old, 2003. Wow. So it was, but yeah, I feel comfortable. It was weird at first. Like I kept saying to myself, am I really doing this? Is this real? Because there was other opportunities to go to leaving Taiwan. It wasn't just Canada. It was obviously the United States because of the businesses that we were in, as well as other countries in Asia. And we made the decision to come back to Canada because of my daughter, right, and because of golf, and her desire to be competitive in it, and the opportunities that we have here, primarily with the golf course across the street, right, and the golf course that my father's a member at. And I just thought that at the very least, we're going to be in Sarnia. Let's see how it goes. And the reception I've received has been really good.
That's good. Yeah. Because you're a little background. You're South End boy. Yeah. Yeah. You come from the I guess you grew up the tough part of town at the time.
Grew up on Telford Street. I remember in the campaign, we shot a video of who is Brooke Daye, and we did a cinematic slow-mo of me walking in front of my old house. And every time I come home, because I come home in the summertime.
Sure.
I take a break. I take about 6 weeks, and I come home for the summer, and I go by that house all the time. And I remember where I grew up, and I remember those times in that, because that was a really good time of life. That was the 80s.
Yeah.
And how we played as kids. So it's pretty romantic, pretty sentimental for me. So yeah, I'm definitely a South End guy. I've stated on all my pizza reviews, my favorite pizza is Italia.
There you go.
Right? So my favorite choice, personally, I grew up on Italia pizza, and that's South End Ontario Street pizza. So yeah, it's a big part of who I am. for sure.
Now, you talked about the campaign. For those that don't know, tell them, like you ran for city council. And obviously, that didn't turn out the way you would have liked it, but you still had you got a lot of publicity about there. Talk about what your campaign was about.
So our campaign was about primarily presenting myself as a problem solver. From the standpoint that I was a successful executive at the highest level in the largest cities in the world. I'm someone who has had millions of dollars invested with, and I've put those money into ideas and programs and operations that have returned an investment. So that's what we tried to convey during the election. I think people really liked it.
Yeah.
I think we presented really well. But the fact that I was gone for 2 decades, it was tough reconnecting in a short amount of time with my friends. I think we did a good job of that, but those 2 decades were an insurmountable hill at that time that we were always going to be faced with, and the proximity to the election too played an effect. Like, I basically arrived July 1st, June 24th, July 1st, and the campaign kicked off in August. So everything was really fast, but I do think we did a good job. We received over 3,000 votes. The difference between us and anyone who wasn't a strong contender was a few hundred here and there. So I do think our message resonated. I think obviously my story and who I am appeals to people in Sarnia. And it's just a matter of, for us, the way we saw it was, we just weren't around. Yeah. And that was tough.
Timing's everything, I guess, too, right?
Yeah, but it was a lot of fun. I will say this, representing Sarnia is a dream of mine. Representing the people from our community, going to work for them every day is a dream of mine. And getting the opportunity to just be out there and reconnect with friends that way, and people that I kind of forgot about who reached out to me and said, "Hey, Brooke, you can put a sign on my lawn." I'm like, "Oh yeah, this person." Right. That was awesome.
I had a lot of people actually message me and said, "Hey, do you remember Brooke?" And I had to scratch my, "Oh yeah, right." And a lot of mutual friends that we would know. Yeah. So I thought that's a good thing. So in this conversation we just had, then is there a hint in there that maybe you'd entertain running again next time around?
I am going to be I will commit this to you. I'm going to be involved politically in Sarnia for the foreseeable future.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair
now,
enough.
whether
what that looks like.
Yeah. What that looks like, I don't know. But we are involved politically here. I believe that, we were talking off camera before that we've had a time here where our city has sort of kind of fallen behind. Mm-hmm. This is in my opinion. Other people might not. We've sort of fallen behind. Our statistics are a little bit and I do see an opportunity of a changing of a guard because of the baby boom generation. Yeah. Where we need to now look forward and have solutions to the problems of what's going on in our city. I know that it's also provincially and federally affected as well. Sure. We deal with the problems downstream of what they do, but I do think we have a moment to present a case, present a plan, and myself and the people that I'm working with, we're looking forward to presenting a plan. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Thanks for sharing that, and I'll look forward to that. I'm going to keep an eye on your work. Yeah. There's so many things that we can talk about here that you've done in your life, but you have a business here. Kind of share, what is that you do? So presently I'm a consultant. I represent myself, and I'm excited about doing that because it's a divergent role from what I've done primarily for the last 25 years. I've been in the fitness industry. I've been in health and wellness. I've managed gyms, small businesses, and music and entertainment, and that's been great. But it's young man's work. It's young man's work. Building companies from zero and them being gyms specifically is very difficult, effort-wise, energy-wise. Okay. You do everything, A to Z. And it was great because it really grew me up. It made me better. It made me far more consistent. When we're young, we have potential.
We can do
the highs and lows. It really kind of made those highs and lows sort of get into a better variance.
Okay.
Yeah, that was probably the best outcome. And, you know, I just said to myself, coming home here post-election, and from the way people received me, I thought that there is a new path for me, and that is through helping people with their business, helping people with their dreams. You mentioned it earlier. I thought it was a great way to say it. Like, if you're a skate sharpener and you're the best skate sharpener in the world, perhaps you should focus on that instead of your Facebook account,
right? Because
your Facebook account's like a full-time job.
Work, right? Yeah.
So I look at it that way: is let me take your business of what it is that you do, and let me work the business, and you be the product, you be the content developer, you be the creative. And I do think we're in a world now where we're in a world where creatives are rewarded.
Oh,
you know,
totally.
A lot of
done well.
Yeah,
done well.
A lot of logistical processes
Yeah.
are being managed by AI and computers.
Yeah.
So you need to be a creative, and those folks need trusted hands. So
I was just about to say, and that comes along with a lot of trust
Yeah.
in all of that.
Yeah.
And you know, like you say, you've certainly proven yourself with
Yeah.
your resume of what you've done over in Taiwan, and then, you know, coming back here even. You came back, you said, because of your daughter, you know, in the golf. But did you have a plan for that, or did you just say, okay, well, we're just going to go back? I'm not sure how we're going to do all of this. What? I mean, it never goes as planned. But
is my wife watching this right now?
I don't know. She might.
Excuse me. So the plan always was for us to get back to Canada in junior high school for my daughter.
Okay.
Excuse me. That was always the plan. And the pandemic sort of set that whole thing awry, because we wanted to be here in grade 7, because that's junior high school. Obviously the pandemic happened and we couldn't really leave. We were really unsure about what we wanted to do. And it backed us up a year. We did make it for grade 8 for her, but we were always planning that. But there were things going on in Taiwan that were positive for us during the during the pandemic.
Right.
There was positive things for us, like, you know, the difference between the way Taiwan handled the initial stages of the pandemic and Canada was starkly different. We were operational.
Better?
Yeah, we were open.
Yeah.
My life was the same. It was unaffected. There was no lockdowns. There was none of the stuff that we dealt with here in Sarnia. So we were able to actually ascend during the pandemic in Taiwan financially. Our business and my role with the company that I was representing, it improved.
Right.
And then on the back end of the rough part of the pandemic, we created our own company, and that sort of kept us there a little bit longer as well. So we were always sort of managing this and trying to figure it out. And it just got to the point, I think, Dave, to answer this in a long form, is when the Ukraine was invaded by Russia, I said to my wife, I said, it's probably pretty close to the point where, like, if things go bad with Ukraine-Russia, we could be seeing the same conflict escalate between China and Taiwan, which has always been bubbling under the surface, which is what we've lived it. I lived it for 20 years, you know. So I said to her, I said, you think it's time? Is it time? And she said, okay, let's go. And we put our house up for sale like a week later, and we closed on it. Well, we moved out of it yesterday.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And she's still there.
Yeah, my wife is still there. Contrary to popular rumblings in the city, some of the folks in the campaign were saying that they saw Brooke Daye's wife stalking homes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, you know, we were talking about the internet too.
Well, the world that we live in.
Yeah.
Right.
But no, my wife's been in Taiwan the whole time. We had to come here for my daughter's golf season.
Right.
So we were excited about that. We thought Vicky would be here. I think August.
Right.
Excuse me, September.
Okay.
Yeah, I was saying, we got to get here in September because I wanted to take them to Nova Scotia.
Right.
You know, having studied in Cape Breton, I wanted to take them to Cape Breton Island and show them there. And I wanted to reconnect with my university too, and bring my daughter to play. I keep pointing over there because that's my daughter's room.
Yeah,
that's my daughter's room, by the way. And she's in the room. But yeah, I wanted to bring my daughter out there to play golf. because it's beautiful out there in the fall time. So I kept saying, oh, it's going to be so much fun. And then, she didn't get here in September, and then there was nothing in October. So yeah.
Out East is beautiful. I went there last year for the first time, and I just...
Oh, really?
Oh, wow. Yeah, I rode my motorcycle.
When did you go?
We went in like July, August.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah, it is.
A great trip.
It's kind of special in the summertime out there.
It is. Yeah, Peggy's Cove Way and all that. So
yeah.
So let's come back to Sarnia now. We left Taiwan for all these reasons, and obviously there's a great amount of strong family values there with you and your wife. To decide to do something for your daughter of that magnitude, and honestly, probably in a world that it's kind of a rock star world, right? To become big in the golf world and to be able to make that living at it. So good for you for doing that. But now you're here and you're doing the consulting. You had a campaign, and now you also one of the ways I rediscovered you after the campaign was online. You have a YouTube channel. Momentum Canada. But you do something every Wednesday, I believe.
Yeah, Wednesdays we do Serious for Sarnia, which is sort of a spin-off from my campaign. I'm a serious guy. Like, I like to laugh and joke, but I'm pretty much a head down executive by trade personality that is all about the work, all about the getting things done. I don't drink alcohol. I don't party. I'm going to go to my first party since I've been home. I'm going to go to an opening party with one of my colleagues for an affordable housing initiative that we've put together. She's opening a business. So shout outs to Sabrina and her partner. Congratulations. We're going to go to that. That's my first party I've been to since I've been home. It's been 8 months. So I'm going to go there. I'm reconnecting with my good friend Dio Gibson. We're going to go together.
Oh, Dio. Hello, Dio. How you doing?
So we're going to actually go to that. But yeah, I'm a real serious guy. I've always looked for either a place where we just go hard. That's what brought me to Asia, I think, Dave, is like I ended up in Shanghai where it is a bunch of serious people. There's no feelings and opinions. It's data driven. It's
really,
who cares if you're sick? Okay, well, we're going to replace you. It's a cutthroat world.
Wow.
And I wanted the highest level of seriousness, and I got there with my industry. So Serious for Sarnia is me. It's a serious guy, and I'm serious. So we try as hard as we can to cover aspects of the city that I believe need attention shown to. So, for example, last week we were talking with a carpenter family business that does renovations, talking about ways of dealing with the city, where some of the choke points are. Before that, we were with the fellows from the real estate board, Rob Longo and Jeremy Garrett, talking about the market. Before that, we were talking to a very successful local real estate investor, Corey McKinnon, who has been a longtime Sarnia resident. Again, started at the bottom, worked his way up through delayed gratification and real estate. So I'm trying to cover aspects in my newsletter. We did my pizza rankings, which I think Sarnia is the best pizza in the world.
It amazes me how many there are.
Right.
And how many have stood the test of time.
Right? So really trying to cover like cultural and fun aspects of the city, but really trying to focus on the areas where I, again, as an executive who has a trained eye, have seen, sort of like insufficiencies, right? And saying, this is where we're a little bit insufficient, let's look here.
And that's a key message every week that you kind of tackle, right, on Serious for Sarnia. I do like how you put in the one show I caught, too, you had favorite television shows. And,
top threes.
I still say WKRP in Cincinnati.
It's a great show. I know there's too many.
It was right. Like they don't make them like they used to.
They don't.
For sure.
They're not as good.
I think Big Bang Theory is probably the only one that came close to anything that I would relate to in the 80s.
Did you like Breaking Bad?
I haven't watched Breaking Bad yet. I watched like. Wait a minute, maybe it was Breaking Bad with where he becomes the drug guy. Yeah, I did watch that one. And then Better Call Saul.
That's really good.
So
anyway, both of those are really good.
I'm careful about what I watch because I'm self-employed, mostly work at home, right? So if I sit down and start watching something,
you're taken away.
Then I look and I go, oh, it's 4:00. Somebody mentioned to me the other day to watch 1883 or whatever, part of the Yellowstone. And I said, no, and I started watching an episode. Now I have to stop watching other things. Anyway, I like that you throw, I mean, you say you're a serious guy, and I know you are, but you do have a sense of humor.
Oh, absolutely.
For sure. Like, you've got to have a sense of humor.
You know, like, I'm serious because I like the work.
You like to get stuff done.
I love the work. I love the work. I love the process. I love being engaged. I love getting my hands dirty. In basketball, we're in the gym all the time. Right. You can ask John Thrasher, like Brooke Daye, Brent Jameson, Jason Wentzer, Mike Whitnell, Mike Levy. Our crew, we were gym rats. We loved to play. We were in the gym lifting weights. We loved it. And that spilled over to everything I do. I dive in. I try to keep my focus small. And I go all in. And so I'm a serious guy. But yeah, I'm also open-minded to big-time humor, and I love a good meme. I love a good GIF, and I love a good roast. And when we make mistakes, when I make mistakes, I'm okay for people laughing at me.
Well, you got to laugh at yourself too, don't you?
Yeah. Well, that was something that I had to grow into that.
Yeah.
I had to grow into that. I had to grow into that. That's part of growing up, you know. When you're young, you don't like to get made fun of.
No, for sure.
You know, but when you get older, you're like, you know what? Being cool isn't as important, you know. Having a nice, I always say this, having a nice bed to sleep in, good food to eat, clean water to drink, and a happy family. That's what drives me. Yeah, that's actually what drives me.
That's great. Let's talk more about Series for Sarnia. Like you say, you've covered a lot of different topics in there, and but it's Series for Sarnia. But then talk a bit more about Momentum Canada. Like Series for Sarnia is a part of Momentum Canada. Am I getting that right?
Yeah. So, well, yes and no. So, Series for Sarnia hosts on the Momentum Canada YouTube channel. All right. But it also hosts via my Facebook feeds. Mm-hmm. Momentum Canada is something that Brandon McCaskill put together. It was his his YouTube platform called Brandon on the Go. Yeah. And Brandon and I somehow crossed paths about a year ago. And we became friends. Like, someone where, you know, two old souls connect, right? You know, like sometimes you just get along with someone.
You just click.
Yeah, we just clicked. We're both workers. Again, we both enjoy the work. We both enjoy the process, and we're both sort of, he's more creative than me.
He's got a sense of humor.
And he's funny, you know what I mean? He's more creative than me. But, you know, that was his baby. And he had built that up through lots of things that he was doing, through playing guitar, sharing meals about his keto diets, to covering the issues that revolved around the pandemic, what happened in Ottawa a year ago. And he became more and more popular because he was willing to get in and mix it up. And I said, now there's a guy I like. Yeah. He can take it. You know, like politics is a world where you got to be able to take it.
For sure. You got to have rhino skin. Right?
Yeah, you do. You really do. You got to have that, the alligator top,
the bullet's got to bounce off.
Yeah, you do. And I thought, there's a guy that can take it, and he's okay with listening. You know, and we live in a world where people like to talk, and I love to talk, but I also have been you have to listen. And we connected, and through the process, we went from Brandon on the Go to Momentum Canada. And it started with a group chat that we were doing in the spring of 2022 called Momentum Mondays.
Okay. Oh, nice.
And we'd bring in people to kind of talk about stuff, but it was mainly a group of guys that, and some gals every once in a while that would get in and talk about the issues. And there were some big issues going on. Like the pandemic was a very, very, very serious,
brought out a lot of colors,
life-changing thing for all of us. So what I tell people, regardless of where you stand on the pandemic and how you feel about how it was handled, relax. It was significant. It's fun to talk about. Don't take it too serious.
Right.
No, don't let it ruin your relationships. Don't let it cross people off your list. Don't let it get that far. And I looked at Brandon.
Some people did that, right?
Yeah, and I looked at Brandon as a guy who wouldn't do that, who would always keep his door open, regardless about his opinion. So I respected that. And we went on to roll up into Momentum Canada. And now his Facebook page is Momentum Sarnia. And we are looking at momentum going forward. We're go forward guys. We like that word momentum, to go forward. Hey, let's progress. Let's go forward. So, yeah.
So continuing on with a lot of momentum going on there, I guess, right? It's a great word because, you know, I like how you touched on too, like people just relax, like it's okay to have your opinions for sure.
Absolutely.
And we talked again before the camera started that, sometimes how we say things really can make a difference in, like, instead of just talking and speaking in politics, let me ask you this. Do you think we blame our governments too much? Should we take some more responsibility on ourselves? Like, what I mean is, like, whenever there's a problem, we tend to go, well, the government should this, the government should that, and I always go back to, ask not what your country, right? What can you do?
I would have answered that question, yes, up until maybe a couple of years ago, where I started to see the government just outright reject sort of the consensus. Like, the consensus right now in North America is for us not to be in Ukraine.
Right.
Sending our money there. I volunteer on Tuesdays with the Army, Salvation Army. And even the folks that we're assisting at Veterans Park in the Chippewa Motel are talking about, why are we sending our money there when we are here, right? And we see the decay within our countries growing and growing and growing with more and more people. That line is getting longer and longer. More and more people are requiring help. And we have rent prices like we do. And we have more and more homeless every year, and violent crime in our city is growing. So I would have said, yeah, we blame our government too much. We need to have more self-responsibility.
Yeah.
But I think there's been a disconnect.
Yeah.
I don't think that the government's listening. I talk about this all the time. The new people that have joined the political discussion, we were talking off camera earlier, it's great. It's great that they're joined it, but they're new and they don't know how to operate. So there's going to be messiness. But I will say this. I always say to people when asked, there's always going to be a ruling class, an elite class, an establishment class. It's been around forever.
Right. It's just...
It is. But in times, there's been better harmony between them, the plebs, and the bourgeoisie. There's been better harmony. And I think we're out of sync right now. We're not reading from the same sheet of music. I think we're disconnected. And that's my problem right now. So I would answer presently no. But at other times in the past, yes, you have to take personal responsibility. But I do think they're not listening right now.
Yeah. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about education here for a minute, because there's a lot of discussion around education these days too, and how we do it, and are we doing enough, and certain subjects, people are always, well, we shouldn't be teaching this, we should be teaching this. Finances. Yeah. In the education system, we don't, that I recall anyway, and I don't see, we don't teach how to balance. Well, we don't have checkbooks anymore, but you know what I mean? We don't teach those basic, like, what is a credit report and how to invest your money, how not to invest your money, I guess, is another way. Do you think that's something that's missing in our educational system, or should we? What's your answer?
Well, I'll take a step back. Back, and I'll answer that in a different way.
Yeah.
During the campaign, I had the choice of what are my issues.
Right.
I made my number one issue as, how will I spend your money?
Right.
Do you trust me to spend your money and to get value for it? That was my issue. Because I believe that that's what we need to be talking about in education with our young people. My daughter had a seminar a couple of days ago about balancing your monthly budget.
Right.
Her and I went for a walk at the course. She talked about it the whole walk. Dad, this is what I bought. This is what I did. I loved it. I was like, okay, great. That's good learning. But that was only like one part of the year. Right? So I'd like to see that expanded. So it's kind of in there and it's like down here.
Yeah.
But to me, that's very important. So I chose that as my lead issue. So yes, long form answer. Absolutely. I'd like to see a little bit more emphasis on that, because to me, that's really one of the fundamentals of being successful, is managing your money.
100%.
Understanding how money is made, what it is, where it comes from, what to do with it when you get it, the time value of money, opportunity cost. These are all things that folks who work every day, they don't get exposed to. And if we expose one another to these principles more, I think we would have a more advanced society.
Yeah.
Or not advanced, but just a little bit more aware little bit more alert
maybe
when it comes to money.
Well, and responsibility towards it.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Do you think in Canada we minimize money in the discussion? Like life's not all about money. Do you think we work hard to not care about money?
Do we minimize it? I think it's minimized in the sense of, I'm usually asking the questions. I would just like to see it be more in the forefront of understanding how money works, I guess, is a way, and how to, and not just managing your money. I mean, we can teach that, and then somebody has to embrace doing that.
Yeah.
But there are new ways to make money. It's not just go to work, go to school, all that stuff, get good grades, and especially with the online presence that's in the world now, there's so much more opportunity out there for people to earn online. I have a 22-year-old son, so that's part of why I asked the question too. And I go, okay, I'm 22. So yes, I do think we minimize the conversation. I think it should be brought more to the forefront for sure.
That was one of the big. You talk about cultural differences.
People don't like to talk about money.
Yeah, they don't.
We feel like we don't like to ask mom and dad for, hey, can I have $20? Or we don't like.
We just don't
like to ask for help. Period. We love giving help. I think
we do. We
right?
Oh, that's you talk about. So two cultural differences between, say, Taiwan and Canada. Number one, money.
Yeah.
I mean, talking about money in Taiwan is like, it's like talking about the Leafs game.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what we do. We sit around, we talk about.
So they lose their money all the time?
Dave, what'd you pay for them shoes?
Yeah,
and then always like somebody in the room's like, oh yeah, I know someone that can get those cheaper. Like that's the talk, right?
Okay.
It's great. And all my Taiwanese people who are watching this will have a chuckle at that. But on the other side of the coin, in Canada, in the United States, the philanthropy of the big heart, the warmth, it's incredible.
Yes.
The difference, the disparity is
Lambton County, we're known for that here. I say it on almost every show.
It's incredible.
How the giveness of this community.
We are, yeah.
Even the ones we don't like, we still help.
It's incredible. It really is. Yeah. Before I left Canada, when I left Patty Flaherty's, I did about a year of. Myself and my best friend, we were doing events. So we would create an event, we would charge money and make money, and then we'd benefit St. Clair Child and Youth Services. Right. That was our preferred charity, our preferred nonprofit. We were doing that. That to me was always when I look back on my life, one of my highlights of my life. I love that, and we're going to be doing stuff like that again once more here because it's what we do.
Cool.
And the reason why I think we do it is because we feel so good doing it. Helping people and being out there in the community is sweet. I get a big spiritual high of engaging with the folks that we help at the Salvation Army.
That's awesome.
Hearing their stories, chatting with them and stuff. I'm pretty chatty with the folks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's great that you're back in Sarnia, and I think Sarnia-Lambton is going to benefit from you and your thoughts and beliefs. Because that's where it really all starts.
Well, hopefully we can get past this. I call it the post-20 teens, the late 20 teens ideology of sides.
Cool. Yeah.
The left-right side, Republican, Democrat, conservative, liberal. Yeah. It's so played out. It
often depends on the issue.
Yeah.
I
think that we're moving towards that's why I like momentum. The word momentum. Yep. Yeah, and that's why I like serious, because if you're going forward in those ways, you're just problem solve based. Let's solve the problem, and let's avoid ideology. Let's not let ideology soak into this. Let's be sort of like engineers,
right.
in a cold way, right? But I think the pandemic has taught us that we have to get solving problems.
For sure.
Yeah.
100%. Well, I know we could keep talking forever, and we probably will keep talking some more.
For sure.
And in the future, and I try to watch your show live as much as I can.
Yeah.
But I always tend to go back and watch the replay. So that's every Wednesday night.
Wednesday at 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah, Wednesday at 8 o'clock.
Eastern, because there's other people watching from all over.
Yeah, right? Wednesday at 8 o'clock.
And that's gonna obviously that's something you plan on continuing for some time to get people's messages out there.
I enjoy doing that show. I really do. Like as always, I approached the show with the White Godiva mug today, and the White Godiva mug is medium roast with caramel macchiato carnation creamer.
He offered me one. I might.
Yeah, I did. I offered Dave one. We could have did the White Godiva mug, but
might change it up after this.
Let's do a quick top three. Let's do the Dave and Brooke top three.
Top three
favorite of all time. Favorite what movies. In Sarnia?
Oh, in Sarnia.
If
you'd have said movies, I was going to say Godfather and Shawshank Redemption, but.
Let's
top three in Sarnia.
Here we go.
What?
Because I'll give a one preview. The next one I'm going to do, because people get a kick out of the pizza rankings.
Right.
Yes. I think because we're proud of our pizza too, and they've been asking, well, what are you going to do? Wings? You going to do burgers?
Oh yeah.
Next one I'm going to do is breakfast because I'm a breakfast guy.
Oh yeah.
I was out for breakfast today with my sister, my youngest sister. It was her birthday this week, so I took her out for breakfast. I'm a breakfast guy.
Where'd you go?
Village Gardens.
Village Gardens, yeah.
That's the campaign. That's the campaign headquarters.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah. So
shout out to Julie down there.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And Susie, Susie, yeah.
Village Gardens, yeah. I think a classic would have to be John's Restaurant.
We don't have to pick our top three in ranking, but who would we put in that list?
Well, definitely.
Or who should I be reviewing?
John's Restaurant.
Yeah,
for sure.
Of course.
Like. Back when I was a boy, way out the Golden Mile there with John's, there was the Travelodge and the Laurentian. That was a long time ago. John's Restaurant, Village Gardens,
Cromwell.
Oh yeah, right, Cromwell.
Cromwell.
I haven't been there in a long time.
Cromwell.
Best
Sophia's.
Best liver at Cromwell too.
Yeah. Sophia's.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right down the street from us. We haven't been there. Wow.
Sophia's is fantastic.
Yeah,
I went there for the first time. My daughter had the burger with fries, and she got the gravy. The gravy it's like diner gravy. It's really good.
Awesome. We have to try Sophia's. It's right, literally down the street from us.
And it's not Sarnia, but it's Point Edward. I always got to delineate.
Yeah.
B&B Tap and Grill. Their breakfast is. Whoa.
Yeah, there you go.
Breakfast is really good. So there's
so when I'm going out for breakfast, I'm going to one of those places. We'll do breakfast.
Oh yeah. Andy Bruchewitz and I had breakfast together during the campaign. And
who did more talking there, you or him?
What a charming man, hey?
Oh yeah, Andy. I love Andy. How you doing, Andy?
Super charming man. Incredible stories.
You know he's an amazing chess player.
Yeah. He invited me to the chess club, and I see his chess post, and I want to come, but again, to me, it's like social time.
Right.
And social time just gets pushed down the list because my list just of things to do just keeps growing and growing.
Yeah.
And I can't pull myself away from building. It kills me. Yeah.
I think that's probably why you and I have some great conversations.
Absolutely.
We have a lot of same philosophies.
Yeah.
Brooke, thank you so much.
Thanks
we
a lot,
will do
Dave.
this again.
Yeah, for sure.
And again, don't forget to check out his show on YouTube. It's on Momentum Canada every Wednesday, 8 o'clock. And your Facebook page as well.
Yeah, Serious for Sarnia on Facebook. And anybody who'd like to follow me on Twitter, I'm pretty active on Twitter.
Yes, you are.
At Brooke on Twitter, just like my name.
Awesome. We'll post that in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. And that's a wrap for this week of the show.
Brooke, thank you so much. I got to be honest, I didn't really know what to expect after not talking with Brooke for so long, but then I've been watching his show online, as we mentioned there. We really had a great conversation, and we both agreed that it was good company and that we'll be staying in touch, and who knows what we will be working with each other, possibly doing something in the future. I don't know, but it was a great conversation. Brooke, thank you again so much for welcoming me into your home, and special thanks to your daughter for being patient while we did the interview there as well, and wishing her all the best in her golfing career as well. So thanks again, Brooke. Really appreciate that. And I appreciate all of you for watching, but you can also listen to the podcast. This show is available on Spotify, Apple, Google, Stitcher, wherever you get your podcasts. This is now also an audio podcast, and it's a video podcast on Spotify. You can watch the video there if you're not already doing that. So I appreciate that so much. And as always, please click the like and the love button, of course. Subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. But the most important button is the share button. Please click the share button so you can share the message of the people that I interview, so their message can be heard to many others around the world. Who knows where you're sharing to, but please click the share button. And of course, until next time, That's all the time I got for you this week. Have a great week and an even better weekend. I will see you next time right here on the show. Bye for now.